Hey everyone, it's Jax again from the Popcorn Review Podcast. Today's gonna be my episode 49, Raw recap for 8/18. So pretty much like any other typical day, they start off with a recap of what happened the previous week. Just pretty much just showed how Seth Rollins and company just looked dominant over everybody, just standing tall. Um, and that's pretty much how it was. I didn't watch the week before, so I just got the recap and what I saw online. But Seth Rollins guys are looking strong. They have the title. They got the shoes. And technically Braun has his yard, so they're building them up. Um, I will say it was a little weird, to be honest with you. Let me fix my mic there. But it was a little weird there. You had Seth Rollins coming out like in an entire Hawaiian shirt, get up, pantsuit, I guess. Nice pattern. He just looks weird as shit in all of his outfits. Like it just he just looks really weird. Yes, he's the champion, so he can do whatever he wants, pretty much. But you know, they were in Philadelphia, so Paul Heyman started talking. He goes on a rant, started boasting about that. He used to have the ECW arena around the corner from there. That Philly has a big place in his heart, and he's not wrong. Everyone loved ECW, crazy carnage, all that. Um, and he just starts boasting again about his guys. Braun Breaker is the new dog. This is his yard. Kind of like diminishing or talking shit about Roman Reigns. And we know what happened last time he talked shit about Roman Reigns. The OTC showed up. So he keeps talking about how good Braun is, that Roman fears the spear, all that shit just going in, right? Then he goes and then Bronson Reed is the tribal thief because he stole two pairs of Roman sneakers and wearing them around his neck like it's a necklace. So the dude is off the fucking wall. At some point, Roman's gonna come after your ass, probably choke you out with the fucking shoes. Cause I would if you stole my shit. Yeah, it's part of the story, bro. You stealing my Jordans, we got a problem. But you know, he even goes as far as talking about that he's God. That Roman ain't got no God mode. He goes, I am God mode. I'm the closest thing to a God. Huh? He even boasting about himself. Then he starts talking about Seth again, like always, and Seth is just like taking it all in. But before Seth could get a word off, Jey Uso's music hits and he's in the stands, dancing with the crowds again, dancing with some of the kids, let the kids talk on the mic and everything. Nice interaction with the crowd, like always. And they go back and forth for a little bit, back and forth for a little bit. And then Jey Uso's like, fine, man, all you gotta say is Extreme Rules. So, like always, hardcore match. People are gonna get involved per usual. Y'all keep doing this shit, bro. Like, yes, I want to see Jey Uso successful. And him and Braun Breaker have tremendous chemistry for someone who's only been wrestling for a few years with Braun. I get it. But once we've seen this match, what, 4 or 5 times, maybe 6 times with this one in the last few months, and now it's happening again. Like, I know they're trying to slow Jay down because he has a rematch or a title shot in Clash in Paris. So I understand that, Seth Rollins just wanting to slow down his opponents. I get it. But we've seen this before, you know? Jay again, he just says, I'll see you later. So they're the main event, Jay versus Braun Breaker. You did have also a recap of Io Sky last week. She was wrestling Roxana Perez. And the Kabuki Warriors did tell her, like, hey, we got your back. They came out, actually slowed her down. And they actually cost Io the match. And for a little bit, it looked like Asuka was actually pissed at Io. I wish they would have like subtitles when they talk personally. And I don't mean to be rude. I don't know what they're saying. Um, I feel like there should be some context or someone saying what they said in English personally, but that's just me. I don't mean to be rude again. Um, but it looks like Asuka got pissed, like, oh, whatever. Pretty much from what I got, hey, whatever. Like, I ain't got you back then. But then they had another segment of she Io Scott's telling the girls like, "Yo, thank you, but I got this. I'll do this on my own, just like you did, Oscar. Let me do it." So Oscar respected that, you know. Well, like always, they have a match: Io Sky versus Raquel. Now Raquel's tall as shit. She got to be over 6 feet, if I'm not mistaken, or at least one of the taller women in WWE. Um, she's ragdolling Io Sky for a while. Io comes back. Roxanne is sitting on the outside, pressing on the outside, gets involved like usual. No one actually came out to help her this time. They took what she said to heart. You know, long story short, for Io Sky to win the match, she actually goes against or knocks out Perez to then go ahead and take out, Raquel, beats her 1, 2, 3. Judgment Day, per usual, gets pissed, beats down the person inside the ring, you know. But the Kabuki Warriors didn't come out. They said you didn't want my help. They're not coming. Well, who shows up? Rhea Ripley. Mommy comes out to the ring, beats them down, and you just have them two overlooking at the Judgment Day girls. And honestly, someone was talking to me about this when I posted a picture about the girls. That would actually be a good tag team against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair to make the tag team championships relevant. Why not Io Sky and Rhea Ripley? I know that Naomi has an announcement later on, and I know everyone's talking about it, but that would have been a good tag team to have there. Honestly, they're both strong. They would have been going against two strong women on the SmackDown brand. That would have been a good match. Maybe we'll see in the future. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Maybe we'll see what happens. But I will say, after that, you did have Rhea come out and was talking to Io. She's like, "Hey, I got your back no matter what." And then you had Asuka and Kairi Sane kind of walk out the corner. They're like, "Yo, so what? It's okay for her to have your back, but not us. Like, what the fuck?" And Rhea goes, "Yo, I was just helping you. I was nowhere." She's like, "She told us not to come out." I think Asuka's gonna turn, or the Kabuki Warriors are gonna turn on Io Sky, making Rhea Ripley and Io joins forces to wrestle against that pair of the Kabuki Warriors. I definitely see that happening. And again, they can go after the tag team championship. That'd actually be two powerhouse teams, one from Raw, one from SmackDown, going against each other. Why not? You did have a small segment, honestly, with LA Knight and CM Punk. CM Punk's trying to bury the hatchet. Hey, sorry about last week. My bad. But if we all want to get a clash in Paris, we all got to work together. And LA Knight's like, I ain't having that. You only worrying about yourself. I'm gonna start worrying about myself. So they're kind of unraveling there. Definitely see them coming to blows. Exactly what happened the week before. But you know, CM Punk, I don't think he's gonna win this anytime soon. I think they're gonna hold off on CM Punk personally, and he's gonna be the one to dethrone Seth at Mania. Remember, Paul Heyman said you are looking at the main event at WrestleMania when before Seth Rollins had the title. So I do believe with everything that transpired, everything that went down, Seth is going to hold this title until WrestleMania, and he's going to go against the number one contender, CM Punk, and CM Punk's going to win at WrestleMania. I'm not a Punk fan personally. I just feel like that's how the story is going to go. I'd prefer to see Seth continue, but I get it as well. I think if Seth holds it from now to then, it'll be like what 6 to 8 months as a champion, longer reign than most of people got. Shit, Jay and Gunther's last reign was trash. There was like a month or two each, so I totally understand. Um, there's a few matches throughout the night. Honestly, wasn't feeling the New Day, Xavier Woods versus Penta. I had a feeling Penta was going to win, and that's exactly how it went down. Personally, it is what it is. um, they did a recap of what happened at Triple Mania. How Dom was trying to wrestle Vikingo. And Vikingo's a fucking monster. I saw that when he was in AEW. It kind of sucks that he's now in WWE. I feel like his style is more for AEW with the high flyers. At least that caliber of high flyer, because there is high flyers in WWE, but I feel like AEW, they on another level. Like Will Ospreay says, I'm on another level. But Vikingo's a monster. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I did not watch Triple Mania. I know a lot of people are saying it was good. I personally didn't watch it. The only reason I knew about AAA was because of AEW and then when WWE acquired them. Other than that, I've never seen AAA before. So I just feel like it was a whatever pay per view. Even though it was free on YouTube, I just wasn't gonna waste my time watching it. People said it was great, but again, I just couldn't do it. Um, you did have a few matches there. Becky Lynch versus Natalia from what happened the week before, and it was weird. Like Natalia has like a two-faced persona or a flip of a coin persona. She's that blood sport in GCW, and then she's like clean cut Natalia over here. So I wish we would see like the grittier version that they're seeing in the indies, but it is what it is. Decent match. I don't know what happened personally. I feel like with some of these matches and with on Netflix, we're missing some of the match. Like we're not getting all of it. Some of these commercials are running a lot longer than expected, and we're just missing some of the match. At some point, Natalia got hurt, and I didn't even see it on TV. But I would say Becky does win this match. It was a short match, personally. Like it wasn't nothing crazy. Um, but they're trying to build up Nikki Bella, so you do have Becky trying to beat down on the girls, on Natalia and Maxine. Even beats up Tozawa, and Nikki Bella comes out, goes after her, and stands tall, wearing her Philadelphia Eagles clothes and sneakers, Air Forces, if I'm not mistaken. But they're just trying to put Nikki Bella in something because Liv Morgan was injured. You know what I'm saying? I don't think this was the story beforehand. They moved away from Lyra and Bailey, and now they're moving to Nikki. So I just feel like they had nothing else to do. Nikki needs to wrestle, so they just threw her in that window over there. If that makes sense to anybody. Um, but to be honest with you, it was an announcement that everybody's talking about. Naomi starts off, and she actually starts crying. She's emotional. And they kind of played a video package of Stephanie McMahon's podcast, and they kind of announced it that way. I feel like she should have been able to want to say it, but whatever. They're trying to get people to go watch it, but that was kind of dumb. Becky Lynch was able to announce it, give the title to Asuka when she won the ladder. So I feel like why couldn't she do it herself? Maybe she didn't want to, or maybe they kind of like forced that down her throat. I feel like Naomi should have been able to express herself. Um, but she was very emotional. It took her a long time to get back to WWE. Finally did it, changed her whole persona, and won a lot of people over. Yeah, she's a heel, but she won a lot of people over. The crazy thing is that, she turned to Adam Pierce and goes, and as she's crying, she's like, just know I'm not giving you this title. And all you heifers, just know that you got one person to thank, and that's Big Jim. Because if not, I would have ran all over you guys. And honestly, Naomi's really good in the ring. So I don't believe that she's lying. She's gonna come back, like she said, within 9 months of some change, and she's gonna wreck house. I definitely see Naomi. As long as they don't overlook her, overstep her when she comes back, just to put her back in the ring. Naomi's gonna be a champion once she comes back. Congratulations, Naomi. But I do feel like you should have been the one to announce it, not that video package. It should have came out of your own words. But again, I am happy for you. Happy for Big Jim, I guess if you want to call it Jimmy Uso. And like she said, the bloodline continues. So maybe in 20 years we'll see Baby Uso like the fans were chanting. But we'll see, guys. Congratulations against Naomi and Jimmy Uso. Congratulations. You had the Judgment Day versus Mr. Iguana and Dragon Lee from the LWO. Now, fans are really hype on Mr. Iguana. I don't see it. Um, I feel like that's like a Mr. Sacco gimmick, or the snake from Santino. That's what I see from that. I liked Mr. Sacco because I thought that was funny. I don't like Mr. Iguana with the iguana on his hand. I didn't like Santino with the fucking snake. But people fucking love it. It is what it is. They love that shit. I get it. Y'all love it. Now, It was an okay match, whatever. Typical Judgment Day. Somebody get involved. Dom got involved multiple times. And out of nowhere, Vikingo shows up from the crowd and starts beating down on them. Kind of gets the one over. Vikingo um, tries to help out, gets hit in the back with the belt from AAA, and the Judgment Day stands, steals one and actually stands strong over, you know, Mr. Iguana, Vikingo, and um, Dragon Lee. So Judgment Day looks strong in that aspect for the men. The women did lose, but I'm not feeling Mr. Iguana. Maybe somebody could send me some clips or something to make me like him. I personally do not like Mr. Iguana. Vikingo, seen him wrestle against like Kenny and the Bucks and stuff, so I know he can fucking go. But Mr. Iguana, I'm just not a fan. It's just, it's whatever to me. Um, but it is what it is. The main thing is from this night that I gotta say is that Bailey's having like almost like a nervous break. She was like sitting there, the camera turned like green and purple in front of her face, and she's kind of like hearing voices in her head. And it's kind of like Bailey from Ding Dong Hello. And I've been saying this for a long time. She's gonna turn heel. And I felt like she should have turned heel on Lyra a long time ago. But what if she fights her demons, right? And Lyra's the one who turns on her? That would throw everything off. That would throw everybody off. Now, the way they played it, it looks like Bailey's like second guessing herself, like, oh my God, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I don't need the role model, that role model. And with the creepy ass voice, she was like, I'm still here, let me out. So it was pretty creepy voice, honestly. It was pretty crazy. But what happens if this is just like a front? Is Lyra who turns on Bailey and all the girls? That'd be pretty crazy to be honest with you. All right, guys. So main event of the night, it was Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker in an Extreme Rules match to pretty much pay homage to ECW for Paul Heyman. Jey Uso actually came out dressed as New Jack, um, pushing a shopping cart full of like weapons. And honestly, the placement of that was probably in a really bad spot. I wouldn't be surprised if Braun Breaker has like a bruised leg, a broken leg, something wrong with his knee. They went at each other. Jay kind of tosses him over. Don't know if they forgot they put the fucking shopping cart there full of the weapons. But Braun Breaker landed on it pretty bad, honestly. His knee kind of like went into the trash can. You saw like a dent, but the top of the trash can is probably one of the hardest spots, the bottom and the top to hold that structure. And he landed on it. And you saw Jay throughout like checking on like, are you good? And he was just like, go, go. So he kept like setting up the table, setting up different things to try to get him to come back. I wouldn't be surprised if Braun Breaker takes some time off from that spot. But Braun Breaker pulled it together. He kept going after Jay. These two guys have great chemistry, even though they've wrestled for just a couple times this year. Maybe they work together outside. Before Braun turned, he was actually riding with Jay to all the different places together. So maybe it's possible he gave him some feedback, or they just work really good together. And that relationship they build, they're able to trust each other. But for a while, Braun goes over. Bronson Reed gets involved per usual. Seth Rollins gets involved per usual. So everybody named Mama is involved. Shit, LA Knight came out. Fucking CM Punk came out. CM Punk actually chased fucking Seth Rollins out of the arena. And then finally the OTC music hits. He whoop everybody ass. He takes out fucking Braun Breaker. He takes out Bronson Reed. And Jay hits Braun with the Uso splash on the fucking Slim Jim table. 1, 2, 3 takes the win. So happy Jay won. Happy to see Roman. Not sure where Roman fits in Clash of Paris if he's even gonna go. But that time the good guys prevailed. I do feel like LA Knight might turn heel. Solely because he's tired of seeing Punk's shit. I definitely see that being the case. But it was a decent episode of Raw. Some of it could have did without. Didn't need to hear about Rusev and fucking Sheamus going again in Clash of Paris. Didn't need to see Penta versus Xavier Woods. Like, y'all could have gave me something better than these matches. Personally, that's how I feel. But again, big draw that we can talk about. Naomi and Jimmy, congratulations. And Clash of Paris, because of what Seth Rollins been doing, is going to be Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso versus LA Knight versus CM Punk. That's going to be a great match. But again, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great one.